Welcome to Crypto Talk. As Rob already mentioned, we're going to be going a bit broader today than just crypto. Most people tend to believe that crypto is an island, totally immune to the macroeconomical world, and that's not true. So this is our Crypto Talk. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. CET. CET is the same as Amsterdam time. If this is your first time in the Crypto Talk, you'll be getting a 30-minute free consultation with me. So you're going to receive an email with us. There will be a link where you can book that call. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Clubhouse. And let's jump to the topic of today. But before that, there's something I need to tell you guys. I have two financial advice to you, and everything else that I say is just my opinion. The first financial advice I have for you is don't invest on anything that you don't know and have not investigated for at least 30 to 50 hours. The second financial advice I can give to you, if you're into the crypto space and you don't have a hardware wallet, you don't have crypto. Besides that, everything I say here is just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor and not a tax advisor either. So if you want financial advice besides the two I gave you, then look for someone else who is professional and has the license to provide you those advice. I'm known on the crypto space as the risk-averse guy. I have one rule, which is if there's a doubt, there's no doubt, which means if I have a doubt about an investment, there's no doubt. I'm not going any further. So we're going to be driving today on the road and we're going to be seeing stable coins ahead of us. If you guys do not know, the symbols next to the sign are all stable coins. So what are stable coins is one of the things we're going to be answering to you today. Why they do exist? What is the difference between fiat and stable coin? And what is the difference between fiat and other kinds of cryptos? And in the end, I'm going to be giving you an insight on some opportunities that you may want to take advantage of. So first, what are stablecoins? Stablecoins are cryptocurrencies. Let me remove my zoom from here. Stablecoins are cryptocurrencies where the price is designed to be pegged to an external currency or commodity. And the imperative word here is designed to have their price pegged to a commodity or a currency. We're going to be focusing most on stable coins, which are connected or pegged to a currency, not to a commodity per se. So they're designed to be like this. So those are DAI, USDT, Binance, BUSD, and USDC. So those are examples of stable coins. And I didn't put equal, I put alternating, which they should be one-to-one on average to the US dollar. So those are the example here. And I put this because they are designed to be one-to-one. They're not necessarily always one-to-one. So basically on a one-to-one, you give $1 and you get one USDC. This is one example here. Now there's other currencies which have the same. This is for the British pound. That's the Binance stablecoin pegged to the British pound. This one is pegged to the Swiss franc. And you have, of course, for the euros and other currencies as well. Now, why designed? Well, because the price not always obeys what it's designed for. You can see here with the example of the USDT, the Tether dollar. It was at one point at 120, which is 20 cents above what it's designed to be, but also went down to 57 cents, which is 43% less than what it was designed to be. And the reason why there's this oscillation on the price is dependent on the market confidence or trust that those USDT are literally pegged one-to-one to the dollar. So this is just one example of how far it can go off the design price. Once the market doesn't believe there is enough assets to back it up, that liability, the price will drop. Now, why do stablecoins exist? They were created initially for stability because the crypto assets, they're very volatile. That's the main criticism we receive. So stablecoins, because they're pegged to a currency or to an asset, they have more stability on their price. That was the main reason why those were created. Now, it didn't remain there because as people start to observe the difference between stablecoins and fiat, they start to see there are other reasons for the existence of stablecoins. So I only put one slide for the reason for the creation, why did we exist, but also today we have more reasons, and those reasons overlap with the difference between fiat currency and a stable coin. And if you are new to this crypto talk and you hear the word fiat, it is not the automobile from Italy. It is the name we give to government issue currencies such as the euro, the pound, the dollar. Now, one difference between fiat and stablecoins is that stablecoins have a superior technology where there's a lot of friction when you transact with fiat. There's no friction when you transact with a stablecoin. They go just as easy as cryptocurrencies. Another reason is transaction time. Sometimes when you transact at Friday at night, you are lucky to receive your money on Tuesday when you transact with your bank. And sometimes your bank may have a message such like this one here saying that they cannot process your transaction. So compared to this, the transaction time for crypto is the speed of a lightning. It gets there and gets finality within a few minutes or seconds. Another difference and a reason for having stable coins and not fiat is the opening hours. You can always transact with stablecoin, but you cannot always transact with fiat. There's opening hours, there's office hours, but transactions and the network of stablecoins never closes, it's always open. And one other beautiful reason and difference is that this is how stablecoins see the planet, and this is how fiat currencies see the planet, which means the currency is in Brazil, it has a very hard time going from Brazil to Venezuela. Whereas crypto, it doesn't care if you're transacting from here to the other side of the globe, it will go just as easy. So if you have stable coins, you don't have any borders. Your borders are internet connection, which means you can transact globally with anyone you like, and fiat currencies do not have that ability. So they are borderless, whereas fiat tend to respect borders, and it's very hard to get out of borders. So another example is fiat currencies are very exclusive. The only place on the globe where you have most of the population having access to international banking is the gray countries here, which is basically Europe, US, and Alaska and Canada. Now, every country in this map that you see some tone of green, there is no international banking, and in most cases, not even basic banking services for the population. So as you can see here, 80% of the population here does not have access to banking. So while fiat is excludes a lot of people, stablecoins, just as crypto, are very inclusive. So the tone of blue means internet connection, which means anyone who has internet connection can have access to banking, can have access to fiat, can have access to stablecoins, while they cannot have access to fiat globally. They can send dollars from Russia to Australia, from Australia to South Africa without any problem. Another difference is once you have stablecoins, you don't have to ask permission for transactions. On the fiat world, you need permission. You need to get the approval of your bank to transact with a company or someone else, especially if it's going across borders. So fiat requires permission. Stablecoins are permissionless. Go ahead, whatever you want to do, whoever you want to transact with. So now let's look at the difference between stablecoins and crypto. We look at the difference between stablecoins and fiat, or government issued money. The difference are very few. So stablecoins, they are dependent on an external asset, whereas crypto, they are the asset themselves. Stablecoins have less volatility, but they cannot be considered assets. They are actually liabilities. Even when they are pegged to an asset, they are not the asset itself. They are a liability, and they only become an asset when you give back your stablecoin and receive the asset. So those are the three main differences between those. Now, let's talk about opportunities, which was what we promised in the beginning. So now that we know the difference between fiat and stablecoins, let's look at the opportunity for those who are walking away from fiat and moving into stablecoins. The first thing is that we have to look at is inflation. We need to look at the problem. So inflation is not 2% as most people believed. Authorities have already accepted that inflation in the US is about 6 to 8%. And that is the official inflation that they are admitting to it. So when you have an inflation, which is about 6 to 8% per year, and your savings account give you 0.10% in some cases, or 0.25% in other cases, and I'm talking about Switzerland, which is the financial banking capital of the world, like Singapore. Let's zoom out here. So the best rate we have is 0.25%, and it can only go up to 20,000 Swiss francs. Once your account has more than that, everything else you get 0%. So with the inflation of above 6%, your savings account giving you 0.25%, we need to rename your account and name it losing account, because you cannot outpace inflation. Inflation is eating your purchasing power. Now, if you have stablecoins, you can take part of the new banking system, which is the crypto banking space, which is known as DeFi, decentralized finance. And you can see here on the US dollar, you can get about 24% per year. APY is what you earn per annum as interest. So whereas you get 0.25 on the traditional market with stable coins, if you don't like crypto, you don't want to take volatility, you can use the US dollar on the crypto space and get 24% per annum, 23, 22, 17 if you tie with BTC, 13%. So you can see there's an opportunity for you to outpace inflation if you decide to go to stable coins because you don't like the volatility and it's hard for you to choose which crypto asset to invest into. Now, that 20% APY sounds very appealing for people who have losing accounts, which they call savings account. It used to be savings account, it's not savings account anymore. Now, from this point on, I want to go a bit more into depth. I'm not going to be talking about savings account. I'm going to be talking about bonds. So not everyone here is going to understand what they're going to be seeing, but if you are here, you're going to be able to grasp what I'm talking about. So for those who only have savings account as a way for them to try to outsmart inflation or to make some profit on their money, that may be a bit over your head, but if you have knowledge of bonds, we're going to be talking to bonds now. So here are three kinds of bonds, and these are corporate bonds, not government bonds, and they are rated according to how safe they are. So AAA is very safe, BBB not as safe, and high risk is also called high yield. Now you can see that last year, 2021, the safest one gave you a profit of 2.7, which is not 0.25, it's 2.7% per year, 2.61 on a bit more risk on BBB, and very high risk, you got 4.36. The more risk you take on investment, the more returns you get. So let's see what happens when we minus inflation, which is about 6-7%. And these are the gains. Now we have on AAA minus 4.8%, is almost minus 5% on their capital. So if you invested in bonds AAA on the financial world, you can celebrate a loss of minus 4% for the 2021 year, for the year 2021. If you invest on BBB, you can celebrate a loss of 4.37, and that's traditional market, that's traditional investment. And if you invest on the very high risk, high yield, you are celebrating a minus 2.44 for the year. And that is for the corporate bonds. What about government bonds? Well, we don't have to go to last year, because for the first week of this year, government bonds, 30-year, broke their record in loss, minus 937% only on the first week. We haven't yet gone through the whole year. Now let's look at the bonds for 10 years. They only lost 4.24. So the previous one is the worst ever in the past 49 years for the 30-year, and for the 10-year bond, government bonds, we have the worst for the past 42 years and the 5th worst year ever in the history of government bonds. So compare that to 24% APY, 23%, 22% profits. The bonds market, the traditional market, are no longer good for sophisticated money or traditional investors. I believe on 2022, they're going to be looking at different possibilities on the crypto space. So this is it for you. And Ra was right, it was about 20 minutes. after her intro. So we are Crypto Vagabonds. If you would like to learn more about how can you use stablecoins or the government issue currency, having that version in crypto, and how can you use that and how can you benefit from those API, feel free to contact us. We're going to be able to assist and support and give you guidance. We also provide you one-on-one crypto coaching. We also have an academy where we teach all those things, how to best benefit from the crypto space. So with that, we'll go into the Q&A. I hope this was helpful to you, and sorry for the last part. If we went over your head, you can ask some questions. I'll explain to you now in the Q&A.
Awesome. There was a question from Ruth. What country this is you talked about? Is it US or?
Of course, US. Yeah. Now the corporate bonds, they are international, but yes, on the US market. Go for it, Ruud.
Yeah, I read yesterday that PayPal is getting ready to launch their own stablecoin as well. And that was also backed by the dollar. But if you say a stablecoin is backed by fiat currency, like the dollar, it's backed by assets, whose assets? If everybody starts creating stablecoins backed by dollars, whose dollars?
Okay, so there's two different kinds of stablecoins. There is centralized stablecoins, which is like the PayPal one, but we also have decentralized stablecoins. So in the case of DAI, that is backed by Ethereum, and you can issue without any bureaucracy. Now, if you are a private company, which is the case of PayPal, and you want to issue stablecoins, you need to go to the regulators and prove that you have those assets. So normally, let's say you have 25% of actual dollars on a bank account, and then you have commercial papers, which are not as liquid as paper money, but in case you need to, you would sell those commercial papers, and then you'd be able to back up the stablecoin that you have. Now, in other cases, like for instance, in case of Gemini, they are also issuing their stablecoin. Gemini doesn't have to worry about assets. They have crypto. In the worst case scenario, they just sell their crypto and they can then back up their fiat. But regulation requires that you have a certain percentage in actual money in the bank, and another percentage then can be assets, could be, and here's the thing that people don't know. Most of those commercial papers are actually debt. They are dependent on the investor being able to pay them back. Does it make sense, Ruud? Nasco?
Yeah, good evening. Good to see you again.
Good.
Both, I am struggling a bit with the word tag, and maybe because it's not also my native language, but why the word tag? What does it mean exactly? Why not another word?
Okay. Do you know what a peg is?
Oh, really?
Wasknijper.
Dank je.
Wasknijper.
Aha, okay. Yeah, I get it.
So peg is that piece of wood that you press and you hold your clothing to the clothesline. So that's why it's called pegged. It's like taking the shoe and putting on that little peg. So that's why it's called pegged. Does it make sense, Nasco?
Yeah, it makes sense as a word. Yeah. I'm just curious why that word? Why not the word associated or attached or affiliated or something else? Why pegged? What is the significance behind it?
It just means it's connected to, like attached to. It's the same as attached to. The best word I see is on Latin language, where we call lastro. And lastro literally means backed by. So or is another word for collateral in the Latin language, but in the English language, they have backing, which is not necessarily the same. So they use the terminology pegged.
Thank you both. I have another question. You mentioned that the stable coins are not cryptos, but is it just because they differ on those three things? Because technology-wise, it's made via crypto technology, right? I mean, they're crypto things.
Okay. The reason why they're not crypto is the same. I'm going to have to go back a little bit more into basics. So I'm going to give an example to you. The Federal Reserve creates new dollars, right? But you and I, as a bank, we cannot create new dollars. Let's say if you and I have a bank in the US, you and I cannot create the money that the Federal Reserve created. But here's what happened. If the Federal Reserve tells us we need to have 10% reserve deposit, that means for each $10 we have, we can create instruments that act as money. So let's say if you take a loan and you give me your house as collateral, I have put new digits in your account. Those digits are not considered to be US dollars created by the Federal Reserve, but they act as if they were US dollars. So they are acting as if they were, but they are not, economically speaking. The same thing happens with the pegged dollar. They do exist on the crypto space. They kind of behave as crypto because they have the same features in terms of being able to transact without borders and what have you, but they are not crypto. And the reason why they are not crypto is because they are not an asset in themselves. They are dependent on the asset, external asset. So for instance, where does the value of Bitcoin comes from? From the algorithm, from the network, from a lot of other things. So Bitcoin itself is considered to be a crypto because it doesn't need an external asset. It is an asset by itself. So I would say the main difference between a stable coin and why it's not crypto, besides those two things, but the core one, 90%, is the fact that they are not asset by themselves. Their value doesn't come from them, it comes from something external. So they act as if they were because they can exist on the blockchain and they can transact as if they were, but they are not because they don't have value by themselves. Does it make sense?
Yeah. And maybe a last one. We say that the stable coin is backed or pegged to an asset. But philosophically speaking, is the dollar an asset?
No. But
No.
It is not an asset. And that's why I say on the slide, there's a currency or commodity. Now I'm using the word assets. But for a lot of people who are not educated in economics, they do see the US dollar as an asset. A lot of people still believe their money is backed by gold. But if you dig a bit deeper, no, and no fiat currency is an asset. All fiat currency are in themselves liability. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we have viewer questions, and I see we're also hijacked by a pirate here, but that's okay. It's pretty cool. So we have Naomi and Martin and Sandra, and there was also in the chat, I don't think you saw it, Ahmed, who shared some files on a project that he's working on himself. So I thought maybe we can give him some time after we answer the questions for him to explain what he's working on. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Naomi, do you want to share your question?
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the stable coins, and like for I just want to get the practical part of it. So how would I use it? How can I use it, the stable coin? How would I benefit from it and stuff like that? Just to the foundation and wrap my mind around it.
Okay, so a stable coin, it is, I'm gonna, just for the sake of your understanding, is a crypto that exists in the blockchain, and its value is approximately 1-to-1 with the fiat currency, let's say the US dollar, right? So now what you do have, let's say you are afraid of BTC or any other crypto to be volatile, but now you have something that exists in the blockchain, which has the value approximately 1-to-1 with the dollar. So what can you do with it? You can do a lot of things. One thing you can do, for instance, let's say, I want to give a few examples. Let's say you are from Africa, or you have some family in Africa, and if you try to send from Canada to Africa money to help them, it's going to take 3 or 5 days. You're going to pay about 25% in fees from Western Union and all the other corrupt banking system in Africa. You can literally just, with your app on your phone, send to them $5, $10, which is impossible, by the way, to do with the financial system today. You cannot send $5, $10 to another country. You're going to pay 10 times that on the transaction. So it becomes non-realistic, but you can send smaller amounts of money to anyone in the globe who has a cell phone and an app on their phone that allows that transaction to be received. So that's one thing which you can do, which is remittances, which is a 700 billion market, globally speaking. That's one benefit. The second benefit you have is what I show here on this slide, is you can learn how to operate DeFi platforms, which is decentralized finance. And you can, instead of have that money on a bank account, you can have that money on a blockchain platform, and now you're going to be getting interest from it. On average, let's say 18 to 25% versus 0 on your bank, plus the fees that the bank's charging you. So those are two main benefits just off the bat to tell. Does it make sense, Naomi?
Yes, yes, I'm getting it better now. Yeah, I'm getting it. Thanks.
Yeah. The third benefit which you have is that you can put that on a cold storage, on a Trezor, and no one on the globe, if you have the right stablecoin, let's say DAI, which exists on the Ethereum blockchain, no one can freeze your account, no one can confiscate it from you. And you can transact anytime you like, and the transaction is going to be finalized in about a minute or two, whereas waiting like for the weekend or whatever to happen on a banking system. So you can say, I want to have fiat, I don't trust crypto. You can have fiat on a Trezor where you are the custodian and there's no fees from the bank on you. So those are three main, like just off the top of my head, benefits that you have. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, yes, it does. It makes much more sense now. Thanks very much.
Okay, any more questions, Naomi? Or that's it?
Question by email, but maybe you send me an answer. I'm not sure. I will check. So I won't ask that question now unless I'll check my email first. So I don't want to take up anyone's time.
Yeah, I sent a reply, I remember yesterday, I think.
Oh, okay, I'll check. All right, thank you very much.
Unless there was a new one since then. But I just want to read out a comment from Paul Southwell, who is watching on Facebook. And he says, bond yields go in the opposite direction to interest rates, don't they, Poof?
Oof.
They drop when interest rates go up, which looks inevitable to happen.
Yeah.
I can't do the nice UK British accent that Paul has, but you get it.
Yes, in normal market, and there's an expression I'm going to use here now, which is new for you guys. Ceteris paribus. Yes, ceteris paribus means all else equal. So all else equal, yes, that's the way it should behave. There's a few other variables, but yes, Paul is right on that one.
Okay. Interesting. I'll keep an eye on the Facebook comments. And Martin or Sandra, or both. You have a question?
Yeah, both. You know, I still have something with the stable coin, and you say it's 1-to-1 with fiat. So what happens when fiat goes down? It always does.
Always the stable coin will go down.
Will go down. So that means it's risky. It's not really worth it.
Yes, it is not the best. I only consider as an option, as I would say, some people are really scared of the volatility of crypto assets. So I would say, and the reason why I decided to present this in the beginning of this year is because I think if you don't want to get into crypto, but you want to be able to outpace inflation and you still have your fiat that you are used to for the past, I don't know, 40, 30 years of your life, and you want to hold on to that, is a possibility. But for you and Martin, who are already on the academy educated,
No, I know. No, false, no.
No.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I saw a question from Lawrence with the help. And it just before it has the question from Charlie. Hi, Boof, do you have a preferred stablecoin that you use and why?
Yeah. My preferred stablecoin are two, depending on what I'm going to use them for. Like if you just want to get into the space, I would say DAI or BUSD. BUSD is the Binance stablecoin. And the reason why I trust those is because there's a lot more likelihood of them being collateralized. So the DAI is, by no doubt, fully transparent. It has all the aspects of crypto except being an asset itself, but DAI is over collateralized. So for each DAI in circulation, there is at least $1.50 in Ethereum as collateral. So it's the only equivalent of fiat that is over collateralized, 150% collateralization for the DAI. That's my favorite one. The second favorite one that I have is BUSD. Is the Binance stablecoin. That they work with 3 different companies, not just Binance, to issue that fiat stablecoin. And the reason why I trust is because I know Binance has enough assets that they can sell to back it up, whatever BUSD they have in circulation.
Thank you.
I see Laura. No.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, the least favorite one, which you didn't ask, and the least saved one is the USDT, which is the most famous in the first one.
Yeah, I know, and I started with that because that's what it seemed like a lot of people were using. So I'm going to transfer it over. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lawrence, and then we go to Ahmed.
Hashtag not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
Go for it.
Oh yeah. I just wondered. You kind of touched on it a little bit when you mentioned DAI, but I was wondering, and this might be maybe too advanced for this room, but there's obviously different types of call them stable coins or ped coins or whatever you want to call them, but like you were describing DAI, which is backed by crypto assets, it's not backed by dollars. So like, yeah, just that comment earlier from Sandra about the decreasing, would a stable coin that's backed by other means other than a fiat money, would that decrease as well?
Sorry, I didn't hear you the last part. It's like if
because like DAI, for example, it's backed by
Ethereum.
So would that decrease? Like, you know how the US dollar is backing USDT or USDC, and obviously as the dollar decreases, the stable coin.
Okay, I see.
Would it
so your question is, if Ethereum, if ETH, which is the native token of Ethereum blockchain, if ETH decreases in value, would that affect the DAI values? Is that your question? Is that
kind of not, but yeah, roll with it.
No, DAI is going to always be 1-to-1 to the US dollar. So if the US dollar lose value, then that DAI is going to lose value accordingly. Now, I'm not sure if there is a curiosity about what happens with Ethereum value dropping down. I'm not sure if that's it.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think you.
No, but what was your question, Lawrence? I want to make sure I get it.
No, you answered it. Because I was wondering, because it wasn't backed by dollars. It was backed by Ethereum and other assets. I was just wondering, would it decrease with the dollar like the other ones do? But you said it would do. But that's fine. It
will be always pegged to the dollar. Now, because I raised the question, I want to give the answer to some people here. Like, so in order for you to create DAI, you need to put a collateral on ETH. And what happened is all DAI in circulation is debt, just like the US dollar. So you put, let's say, 10,000 worth of ETH, and I can get now, let's say, 5,000 DAI, which is $5,000. Now, what would happen is if the value of Ethereum drops to the point where it's no longer collateralized by 150%, what the smart contract would do is going to sell my ETH, which means liquidate my loan, and then sending back the change for my loan. And the only way for me to get my asset back from that loan is to send the DAI back to that vault, have that DAI destroyed, and then the Ethereum sent back to me. So there's no way that a smart contract will allow for DAI to be in circulation without assets to back it up. Sorry, I raised a question. I just feel like answering because otherwise people here might have curiosity.
You can do a Q&A on your own. You can just ask yourself questions all the time.
But I think Ahmed wants to speak about his.
Yeah, and he was already sharing his screen. Sorry, Ahmed. So I kind of, because otherwise also on Facebook, people just see the screen and they can't see Boof anymore. So I thought I'd just stop you sharing your screen until Boof is finished. And yeah, so welcome to the group. I think this is also the first time you're here, or have you been here before?
No, this is the first time here. I had some great information today about stablecoin. A lot of it was new. I don't want to take very much time from you. I want to 4 or 5 minutes. I'm not asking for more than this. When it first happened, we all the rise, the dramatic rise in cryptocurrencies prices, and another thing, the new users are using social media. People are stuck in their home, so they start to find another way to communicate. So a lot of people are using the social media every day. My idea, what will happen if we mix these two elements? There was a previous trials to do something like this, like Steemit, for example. It was very popular before, then it goes down. I don't want it to make it like this. I want the social media will be more like Facebook and Instagram, easy for all people, for all. You can connect with your families, just like the normal social network we are having today. Plus,
sorry, Ahmed, you want to share your screen while you're speaking, or? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to know.
I can share my screen with the pitch deck, but I don't want to take a lot of time.
Okay. A second question, just since I cut you off. Are you the same Ahmed that I met a few hours ago in Clubhouse?
What?
Did we meet in Clubhouse today?
No, we didn't.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No.
That's it.
Okay. No. It will be easy to use, just in the same concept of like and comment and share, making not very complicated for everyone. Not to be very aware of the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. Don't have this long password you can enter. No, it's very simple, just like the Facebook and Instagram. While you can activate your wallet, this will have another thing, another way to get in this. Imagine if we just make it like 10% from the people of Facebook, we will be like 300 million users. Our cryptocurrency, this new cryptocurrency, will be 300 million users. If you look to the market today, it's only about 100 million users. So you are making this 3 times the users of the cryptocurrencies now. How much will its price? There was a great question today from Sandra about what will happen if the dollars get down. What will happen to the stable coin? It will go down. But in ours, due to the all of numbers of people are using it, it will be it can be go down. When it starts. There will be it's very rare. It will be rare for people, so its price will continue to go up. It will not go down.
Okay, Ahmed, is this your project?
Yes, it's my project.
Okay, do you have a team behind it? Do you have people, developers, or is just an idea for now?
Just idea. It's only me.
Okay, it's only okay. I'll do this. Let's have a call and you can tell me more about it. And then if you need to get some people behind it to help you, I have some contacts with some developers, and I have I'm part of a larger group of over 100 experts in crypto. And on our call, you can tell me what you need for your project, and I can provide that to you. And then maybe when it's a bit more mature and you have a team behind it and whatnot, then I'll be more than happy to bring you here to this crypto talk, and then you can present a more solid project. How do you feel about that?
So that will be great. It will be
Okay.
great.
We're gonna send an email.
We're gonna send you an email, and we're gonna have a call.
Okay.
And then in that call, you tell me, you can prepare a list of the things that you need, and I will contact the people that I have access to, and then I will get in touch with you, and let's mature. If there's a future on a project, which I think it does, initially by your presentation, then we can get some experts on your side, on your team, and see if this thing can fly. Okay.
This is excellent. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we also I downloaded the files. Ahmed shared some files as well in the chat, so I downloaded them so you can go through them. Thank you so much, Ahmed.
Thank you,
for being
Ahmed.
here and sharing your proposal. That's really exciting. All right. See some hands from
Martin, Sandra.
Yeah, thank you. Ahmed, I just want to know what is the project? It was not clear what is it for, and sorry, but if I ask, I'm curious.
Okay.
And what problem is you're trying to solve with the project and what it stands for?
Simply, it's a social network. While you are using it, you can have a cryptocurrency for it. This will be every one of us has at least one social media application on his cell phone. It can be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, a lot of social media application. If we mix this, we will make the cryptocurrency spread all over the world. Not only for people who are interested in this field or have in this information, it could be in the hands of all people because it's linked to a very simple application. It is already proven. By the people who they like something like this. TikTok, any kind of this simple social media. There was previously some trials to make social media based on the cryptocurrency in with the blockchain, but it failed or it didn't make this a lot of attraction for people because it focused on the people who are already interested in cryptocurrency. So it's already taken from the people. But if we are giving this to a lot of people, to the ordinary people, anyone can use this application. It's very simple, not very complicated. So
I think I can translate to everyone here. I think it's maybe like Brave, right? Where you use Brave and you get some BAT token as you use the browser. Like everyone uses a browser and you can get some crypto by using. I think it's something like that you're talking about, Ahmed.
It's not like Brave because I believe that when you need people to trust cryptocurrency and feel like they can use it for a real thing, they can buy a cup of coffee from what they are watching, not using not doing the things that it doesn't bring to you any benefit. It doesn't bring a value for you. You have to give them something that attracts them. I think it's at least it should be at the price of at least a cup of coffee. This I already get this money for this cryptocurrency. I can use it easily. How? Because this is a social network which will be easily to add a lot of people to it.
I see.
Not very.
I see what you're saying. Well, Thank you. Let's discuss more on the call, and you make a list of what you need. And I saw you have some slides, so if you can have a slides on what is your idea and the maturation of your idea.
Yes.
I'll be more than happy to get in touch with some people who can help you to do that.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Sandra, did you get your answer? Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I saw Nesco's hand up as well, but they went down again, so I'm not quite sure if that was.
He got tired and then Hash will put his hand down.
Pirate also went off screen. Let me check Facebook.
Maybe if there is time for another small question. Both you mentioned not to go near the USDT, the Tether one, but actually, if you look at CoinGecko for stable coins, it's on top one.
It is
large margin before all the others. So why staying away from it then, if the volume is so big?
Okay, so stable coins have some risks. And the biggest risk is what we call a run in the bank. I think we have seen that in Greece. We have seen that in some other countries. I think you may have experienced that in Bulgaria, where people go to the bank to withdraw their money and there's no money, right? And then the banks say you can withdraw 50 euros per week, as they did in Greece. The same thing happened last century. In the US, we have seen that happen many times. So the USDT is a stable coin with most question marks regarding their assets to back it up. So they have, is the one most likely to have a liquidity problem. As you saw there, when the price went to 57%, that was when the question mark about the liquidity, when not having, because there's two things. Now I'm going to get a bit more technical so everyone can understand. So there's one thing which is on solvency, which means you're not solvent, and one thing is liquidity. So an example, if I have a debt of $200,000, but my house is worth 2 million, I am solvent. I have enough assets to back up my $200 debt. The problem is my house has no liquidity. I cannot get those 2 million tomorrow to pay it off. So what happened is when you have something which is behaving as US dollar, which means the most liquid form of value that we have is fiat money, is pure liquidity. You can transact and buy anything you want with that. Now, once people try to withdraw those USDT for the real US dollar, the company may have a liquidity problem, not necessarily a solvency problem. They may have enough assets to back it up, but those assets may not be as liquid. So if you want to use a stable coin, which acts as the most liquid of all expression of value, which is fiat, then you want to make sure that whatever is backing that up have as close as a liquidity as the stable coin itself. Does it make sense, Nasco? Yeah. So in that sense, I would say Binance, which is BUSD, I'm sure Binance has enough crypto, which is almost as liquid as the fiat currency, to back it up. The same thing for DAI. DAI is being backed by Ethereum. Ethereum is almost as liquid as the fiat money itself. Does it make sense? Yeah, so that, and the USDT is the one which the assets backing it up are very illiquid. So when you have something which is very liquid and you have something which is acting as the most liquid of all values, that disparity may be a problem. Did it make sense to everyone? I'm sorry if I used some things that went over people's head.
Oof. Do you have any more questions for yourself?
Can I ask a general question?
Please, Charlie, go for it. Yeah.
So if Bitcoin is the digital gold, why is it so susceptible to the Fed? You know, every time the Fed sneezes, Bitcoin goes down and then it'll come back up again. Is there, I'm trying to understand, you know, if it's supposed to be kind of a separate thing, why is it still so volatile because of what the Fed does? And
Okay,
I'm sorry if this is gonna this is probably a whole
No.
conversations, but
No, it's very easy. So what happened is this. The answer to that question is, who is buying Bitcoin, right? So let's say Bitcoin 2009, 2010, 2011, there were nerds and few people in the space who were buying BTC, which meant it didn't matter what the Fed did. Those guys are not even looking at what the Fed does, right? Now, 2017, 2016, what happens? We have sophisticated money coming into BTC. Now, with a few exceptions like Mike Saylor and a few other sophisticated investors, most investors, they want to use BTC as they use every other investment they make. They want to make a profit and they want to get out of it. So a hodler is not necessarily sophisticated money coming in. Now, the more sophisticated money comes in, the more company money comes in, and the more ETFs. And now I read today that there was Fidelity has a traditional package of basket, an ETF on a basket of investments, and without telling their clients they have BTC in it, which means now the more sophisticated money comes into BTC, sophisticated money acts according to what the Fed does. So the more susceptible we are to what the Fed does. So that is almost inevitable. The more sophisticated money adopt crypto, the more that was going to happen. I'm going to give an example to you. Last year, I saw this happening, and I took an asset which was not on the radar of sophisticated money. So as BTC in January now is the same price as January last year, I have an asset that went up 6 times because it was not on the radar of sophisticated investors. So for 2022, what I'm doing, and it's not financial advice, is I'm staying as far away as possible from anything that is influenced by the Fed.
Good. All right.
Did I answer you?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So any more questions, anyone? Did everyone understand the answer I just gave here? Okay. Natalie, did it make sense to you? Okay.
Kind of.
So let me know what went over your
Yeah,
head so I can
right.
explain, Natalie.
I think it just needs a bit more listening more and learning more, because it's a lot of new information and it's sort of making sense, but it sort of isn't. So I think I just need to be around it a bit more before anything is clarity, or even have a question, because I'm not even sure what doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So it's just part of the learning is you just got to hear things, see things over and over. I mean, I only heard about stable coins a couple of weeks ago, and then saw a YouTube, and then this. So it's just part of the learning. It's getting there. It's sometimes it's not plain English. It's like a foreign language.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Like sometimes it goes over your head, and you hear a few words, and you think, oh, I recognize those, and the rest is like, yeah. I hear your words, but I don't know what they mean.
So it's just getting there, but I don't feel totally lost. I just know that this is part of the way that I learn is through repetition and just hearing things over and seeing them and that. So. And
you're going through the course as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. I'm looking forward to hear more about that as well. How's it going later? Great.
Mrs. Wallace, did it all make sense to you?
Yes, thank you. It was very clear. I'm getting it now. Yeah. As Natalie is saying, repetition is the key, because I remember how it was just a couple of months ago. Lots of what you were saying was just Chinese to me, but now it is much, much easier. Not 100%, but getting there.
Beautiful.
All right, so we're getting to the end of it. If you don't have any more questions for now, you can, next week we're here again, so you can bring your questions and you can put them in the Facebook group as well. There's also a place where you can watch the replays of the previous crypto talks. And I just checked out what we're going to talk about next week, and we have a Crypto of the Month session next week. and it's going to be about Ethereum, because we haven't even covered that much here at all. So it's kind of we just like Bitcoin and Cardano a lot, and then some like we Polkadot and Solana, but we thought now it's probably time to cover some of Ethereum as well. So that's what we're gonna dive in next week. And yeah, thanks so much for being here again tonight and sharing your project, Ahmed. That was really beautiful, and sharing your questions. And yeah, you know where to find us. If you have any questions, let us know. Wish you a beautiful evening and hope to see you next week, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Hi guys.
Bye.
Bye.